Welcome to Voice of the Vatican. Our top stories. Blessed are the poor. A Canadian Archbishop experiences solidarity with the homeless by living on the street for 36 hours. Honored for service. Latin Patriarch Twal is bestowed the Medal of Jerusalem by President Abbas in thanksgiving for his service to the Church of Palestine. Dancing for joy. Polish sisters wow beachgoers with a flash mob, promoting divine mercy and World Youth Day in an unforgettable way. New Evangelization. It's being called the Filipino Experience of Mercy, a conference that gathered thousands to awaken a sense of missionary discipleship amongst the faithful. The gift of water. The church in Ethiopia launches an irrigation project to help local farmers increase productivity. And World Youth Day Krakow. It's almost here. We'll go behind the scenes to find out about security and medical logistics for the big events, what pilgrims can expect upon arrival, and we'll speak to some volunteers who are working to make sure the messages of WYD resound to the ends of the earth. I'm Ashley Norona in Rome, Italy, and you're watching Voice of the Vatican only on Shalom World TV. Archbishop Bolen, the Archbishop of Regina, Canada, has experienced solidarity with the poor in a very real way when he recently lived on the street for 36 hours as part of a program sponsored by a local nonprofit group meant to bring awareness to the difficulties that homeless face in everyday life. In addition to the bishop, 9 other community figures were involved, including a college professor, a folk singer, the chief of the Saskatoon Tribal Council, and a policeman. All wore secondhand clothes, had no money in their pockets, and had to beg for food in order to eat. They were equipped with only a cell phone to be constantly geolocated. During those 36 hours, the Archbishop experienced the difficulty of finding a place to wash and spent the night on a cot in a public dormitory. Both before and during those 36 hours, the participants raised funds and awareness for Sanctum Care Group and a 10-bed HIV prenatal care home that will support high-risk HIV-positive pregnant women located in a refurbished Grey Nuns convent. The Archbishop spoke about the impact the experience had, saying, quote, "No one even looked at us. It was the experience of the invisibility of the homeless and of anyone who is poor or weak." This experience reminds us of the words of Pope Francis when he proclaimed the Holy Year, saying the Jubilee should cause us to bring a word and gesture of consolation to the poor and to restore dignity to all those from whom it has been robbed. A few days after the end of his mission, Emeritus Latin Patriarch Twal of Jerusalem was honored by Palestinian President Abbas with the Medal of Jerusalem. The medal was awarded as a sign of gratitude for spiritual guidance exercised by the Patriarch and the outstanding service he offered the Palestinian people and the Catholic Church in Palestine. Patriarch Twal, who's celebrating the 50th Jubilee of his holy priesthood this year, recently submitted his resignation from the Patriarchate on reaching the age limit and will be succeeded by Father Pier Battista Piazzabella, who served as custos of the Holy Land for 12 years and was the vicar of the Latin Patriarch for the Christian community of the Hebrew language. The unique landscape of the region is that currently the foreign faithful of the Latin Patriarchate now outnumber local Arab Christians. Upon assuming the role of Patriarch in 2008, Twal spoke of the situation of Israel and the Palestinian territories, saying, "We receive a lot of help and we're grateful, but at the same time we need more. What we need is peace." The Hebrew word for peace is shalom, but it isn't only an absence of war that constitutes peace in the eyes of Catholic social teaching, but an authentic spirit of charity amongst people. Swimmers and sunbathers got a fantastic surprise this week when a group of Polish sisters staged a flash mob at a popular lakeside in West Pomerania, Poland. Sisters of the Congregation of the Merciful Jesus in Myślibórz set a banner of the Divine Mercy image of Christ on the sand, and moments later began a choreographed dance to share their joy and encourage all to attend World Youth Day with the words, "We invite everyone to meet us at WYD 2016." The congregation was founded in 1947 by Father Michael Sopocko after Jesus appeared to St. Faustina Kowalska in an apparition and asked her to found the new religious community. The primary charism is to renew Christ's message of divine mercy and spread devotion to the words, "Jesus, I trust in you." On July 30th, Pope Francis will visit the Divine Mercy Shrine in Krakow, passing through its holy door and visiting the chapel where St. Faustina Kowalska is buried, where he will celebrate the Holy Mass and hear confessions. Back on the beach, passers-by joined in the joyful dance, and at the finale, the sisters unfurled a large banner reading, "If anyone is thirsty and believe in me, let him come to me and drink." The third Philippine Conference on New Evangelization gathered thousands for 3 days to facilitate a deeper experience of Jesus as the face of the Father's mercy. Father Jason Laguerta, conference chairman, reports from Manila exclusively for Voice of the Vatican.
This is the third Philippine Conference on New Evangelization with the theme Awa, which means mercy, Unawa or understanding, and Gawa, works of mercy. The Filipino Experience of Mercy. It was held last July 15 to 17, 2016 at the University of Santo Tomas, Padre Centennial Pavilion, the home of PCNE. In line with the extraordinary Jubilee Year of Mercy, we wanted to make it felt in the Philippine context. Most of the Filipinos are devotees of the Black Nazarene. That's why we included in one of our Eucharistic celebrations the procession of this miraculous image, the Filipino way of celebrating the Jubilee of Mercy. Also, the Sayaw sa Ubando, it is also very Filipino in such a way that we have close family ties, festivity, and strong devotion to our Blessed Mother. There were a total of 4,000 delegates from all over the Philippines. The farthest delegate came from all the way from Zamboanga, south of the Philippines. His Eminence Luis Cardinal Antonio Tagle had an interview with guests who had their own stories of mercy. Also on the first day, included in the celebration was the commissioning of the youth who will be attending the World Youth Day in Poland. And then on the second day, a youth concert was held, which was also participated by His Eminence Luis Antonio Cardinal Tagle. Part of the program also was a talk on the biblical, theological, and musical aspect of mercy, facilitated by a Jesuit priest, Father Manueling Francisco, S.J. And on the following day was a talk about socio-cultural aspects of mercy by another Jesuit priest, Father Albert Alejo. This 3-day event concluded with the Eucharistic celebration presided by the Apostolic Nuncio to the Philippines, His Excellency, Most Reverend Giuseppe Pinto, and towards the end was a community prayer of the Litany of Saints. And for the church in the Philippines, the Philippine Conference on New Evangelization, as described by Cardinal Tagle, was an explosion of mercy. So we heard also testimonies of people as they go back to their homes, parishes, and schools. They are now bringing with them that experience of mercy and also the desire to share this mercy to others. As they have seen it in Jesus, now they become the face of Jesus to others. Many of our participants said that this experience of mercy gave them the inspiration to become proclaimers and workers of mercy as well.
The Catholic Church in Ethiopia has launched a €3 million irrigation project targeting 1,200 households in the hopes of irrigating more than 1,100 acres of land. The project has been implemented in the RC zone of the country by the Ethiopian Catholic Church's Social and Development Commission of Meki in partnership with Oxfam Interim. At the inauguration ceremony, the Apostolic Vicar of Meki, Bishop Abraham Desta, said, quote, "They say Rome wasn't built in a day, so our effort for development does not stop here. We must start thinking about the expansion work and reaching more households." He added that the Church in Ethiopia always strives to achieve integral human development through her pastoral works. The local community is dependent on rain-fed agriculture for living. And with the new structure, they'll be able to harvest more than 3 times the typical amount of rainwater each year. This will significantly increase the annual income of every household, allowing them to produce enough food not only for their own consumption, but also to sell at market. Increased income means fewer burdens on a family and allows children to attend school instead of working, thus contributing to a better future for the community and the country through the grace of Christ, who is the living water. Coming up next, we'll go up close with Aid to the Church in Need, who's helping youth who wouldn't otherwise have the chance get to World Youth Day. And in celebration of her feast, we'll visit the Roman home of St. Bridget of Sweden, patroness of Europe.
Media is powerful. It can change a culture. It can change a whole generation. It can impact the entire globe. 2 years ago, Shalom World TV was a dream. Today, it's a reality. A commercial-free, high-definition television network broadcasting from the United States of America, reaching 375 million English-speaking people around the globe. We want to reach to the ends of the earth. Throughout the year, Shalom missionaries work day and night to accomplish this mission, to produce programs that evangelize the culture.
What is wrong with contraception?
Tonight on Seekers.
I can make time for you.
For divine knowledge. We want to continue this mission. We want to produce more programs to impact this generation positively. Will you be with us? Can you take a commitment of donating just $25 a month for the next 12 months? We assure you of our prayers. Visit shalomworld.org/donate today. We thank you for your generosity.
But first, more headline news. World Youth Day is about to kick off, and the city of Krakow is filling with excited participants and volunteers. Upon arrival, pilgrims will first pick up a WYD pilgrim pack in one of 3 colors, and complete with a rain poncho, a scarf that says Amazing Poland, and helpful booklets, including Pilgrim's Guides to Krakow, and a prayer book titled Jesus, I Trust in You, as well as a rosary bracelet. Ever since the location was announced for this year's event, Krakow has been busy, preparing to host huge numbers. And behind the scenes, organizers have thought of every detail, especially concerning the well-being of young pilgrims.
They're putting air bridges between all of the hospitals and 14 separate treatment centers all throughout the different events.
The city will put 2,500 firefighters in place, 1,500 border control agents, and will have a police presence of 20,000 who've been highly trained in crowd logistics.
Polish security works well with Vatican security, so they had a training session here at Vatican City just months ago to make sure that everything will go smoothly in that regard.
As the excitement builds, some international volunteers who are already on the ground in Krakow took the time out to speak to Voice of the Vatican. A group of 30 students studying communications at the Pontifical University of the Holy Cross in Rome have given up 2 weeks of their summer to assist in WYD event communications, although their preparation started long ago.
We have had a number of weekly sessions in the last 2 months to prepare for this event on different aspects of communications, on different topics that would affect the life of the church and the World Youth Day in particular. For example, the life of Pope Francis, different difficult questions or challenges facing the church. The energy of the youth in particular, and the spiritual renewal of the youth.
The team is assisting in social media, photography, audio, video, and the International Press Office. But the real reason they've made the journey to Krakow is to help spread the joy.
I want to be a part of setting a fire and enkindling the faith of the young, especially now that these people need the church more.
Their number one goal? To make sure the message of World Youth Day goes out to all the ends of the earth.
The church has also messages. And the World Youth Day has messages in itself. So communication, being part of the communication is offering yourself to be a channel for these messages. After the World Youth Day, when these young people will go into their own countries, it is now their duty to share what they have gained, what they get from this gathering of the youth in Krakow. There is a beautiful church of St. Mary's over here in Krakow, from which a bugle call is sounded every hour
in all the four directions, which signifying that it goes out to the four directions, the four corners of the earth. And in this way, the communications department will also be working to radiate out the energy of the World Youth Day to the four corners of the earth and bring the universal church together.
Be sure to stay tuned to Shalom World TV for live broadcasts and updates from World Youth Day. Of course, not everyone who wants to attend World Youth Day can. Sadly, problems like war, disease, poverty, and persecution prevent many young people in our church from that possibility. Yet the charitable organization Aid to the Church in Need has made it possible for 3,500 young people from countries in difficulty like Egypt, Sudan, Haiti, Iraq, the Ukraine, and Macedonia to be there in Krakow.
Aid to the Church in Need has been supporting World Youth Day for many, many years, and we see it as a crucial part of the charity's outreach to be able to enable young people from very different parts of the world to come and take part in what for us as Catholics is a hugely important period of reflection, of prayer, and of encouragement to one another as we continue on our journey of faith.
Aid to the Church in Need was founded in 1947 and works to bring faith and hope to the suffering.
Its task is to provide pastoral and emergency support for Christians and others who suffer persecution. We are at work in 140 countries around the world, and the main bulk of our work is pastoral, so we're supporting the construction of churches, we're training seminarians, and providing mass stipends for priests in places of persecution and oppression. We're training sisters, we're supporting sisters, we're building chapels, we're providing catechetical materials, not least the Child's Bible, and other core aspects of our faith.
Each year, ACN fulfills more than 5,000 projects through spiritual and material aid programs to help strengthen the church and keep the faith alive.
The way we share is not just through spiritual means, but through practical means. So our thanksgiving to God is that we are given the chance to share.
ACN's mission recalls the words of Pope Benedict XVI, quote, "The Catholic Church asks no privileges for herself, but only the legitimate conditions of freedom to carry out her mission." In the concert of nations, she always seeks to encourage understanding and cooperation between peoples, based on loyalty, discretion, and friendliness. July 23rd is the Feast of St. Bridget, and although Rome is 2,000 miles from her homeland of Sweden, the saint made the Eternal City her home from 1350 to 1375. Voice of the Vatican visited the House of St. Bridget, which is now a convent, housing 36 sisters from all over the world, and a house of formation for 8 novices. St. Bridget's devotion to the Passion of Jesus became a charism of the Brigittine order, which she founded in 1344, and is expressed in the order's motto, Amor meus crucifixus est, my love has been crucified.
Saint Bridget had a revelation. She had so much devotion to the Passion of the Christ. If you see it, we are with the dress grey color. It is a color of penance, ash color, and we have a crown in our head. This are the 5 wounds of Christ.
St. Bridget had numerous mystical experiences and visions of the Savior. She was married at the age of 14 and had 8 children. When her husband died after 28 years of marriage, Christ asked her to establish a new monastic order and travel to Rome in order to await the return of the Pope, who at that time had moved the papacy to Avignon, France. She offered constant prayers, practiced mortifications, and made urgent appeals to the Pope to return to his see in Rome, which he did in 1378. Today, the Brigittine sisters have 52 international houses in places like India, the Philippines, England, the US, Germany, Holland, and Indonesia. And each are preparing to commemorate the Founders' Feast with special masses and celebrations. St. Bridget is the patron of Sweden, and on the 1st of October 1999, Pope John Paul II proclaimed her the patron of Europe. She's a saint of mercy in this Jubilee year, and we remember her words, "There is no sinner, however much at enmity with God, who cannot recover God's grace by recourse to Mary and by asking her assistance. There are whole new ways to boost your prayer power using smart technology. Now it's time for Techno. Not everyone can make the physical pilgrimage to Krakow, but there's no reason that you can't join the event spiritually via the broadcast right here on Shalom World TV. And through the brand new World Youth Day free app called Pilgrim, released earlier this week. The Pilgrim app will serve as the way that young pilgrims from around the world can share stories and connect with family members and friends, even from across the sea. And as a way for those back home to follow along with the events. The app is offered in 9 languages and includes useful information like a Polish dictionary, tourist information for Krakow, and emergency contact numbers. And if you're far away from the action, you don't have to miss a thing, but can follow along via the schedule of events, the World Youth Day news section, and the Twitter feed, which has 1.5 million followers. If you want to have a little bit of digital fun, you can even play the game Run to WYD or try your hand at the quiz. In addition to the app, World Youth Day is present on 11 social media platforms, producing content in 20 languages, which means you can ask a question of the organizers on Ask FM, or pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet with the World Youth Day team on Wednesdays via Periscope. The Holy Father also used technology this week to bless those traveling to World Youth Day, sending a video message to youth on all continents, expressing his great anticipation to see them soon and to be united in the name of Jesus, who is the face of mercy. All week long, you can keep up with the latest happenings in Rome on our Twitter feed, which is @Voice of Vatican. And be sure to like us on Facebook on our Voice of the Vatican page. And keep checking our social media feeds for breaking news about information on guests and features. And we want to hear your voice too. Email us your questions and stories to vov@shalomworld.org. I'm Ashley Nerona in Rome, Italy, and on behalf of the entire staff and crew of Voice of the Vatican, I wish you a blessed week and blessed feast of St. Bridget of Sweden. May God bless you and your family. Saying ciao for now from the Eternal City. I'll see you next week on Voice of the Vatican, only on Shalom World TV, bringing Rome to your home.